Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Round Table Talk. And I'm your host, C Money. And in today's episode, I want to do a couple of current few topics that is going around right now. I want to talk about a few topics that is going around. Not, it's not just one set topic. I want to go around on a set topics. Email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our channel, and also check out our previous videos that we have did. All right, let's jump into it. First thing I want to talk about, I'm sure everybody knows what went down this past weekend at the Grammys. Not the Grammys, I'm sorry, the Oscars, when Chris Rock actually made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, and it took offensive to her and Will Smith. Where Will Smith got on stage and slapped him, and well, a lot of people say punch, but he ended up getting slapped, because if he would have got punched, there would have been automatically an incident, and Will and Chris Rock would have been very badly injured. Now, I want to talk about this. Now, I want to know what do y'all think about this. To me, Will Smith didn't thought of it as a joke when I saw the clip, because I actually saw the beginning of the Oscars, because I was watching the the red carpet show, pre-show, whatever, when they talked to the celebrities on the carpet and stuff, and I was watching that, and I was like, I really don't too much care watching the Oscars, but I saw that it was on, and then eventually I was like, okay, now the Oscars, and afterwards, that's when I saw in like social media posts and everything about the Will Smith and the Chris Rock incident, and I saw the actual video, and I'm like, what? At first, I thought it was staged, but then when Will Smith said, "Keep my name out your MF mouth," and I was like, oh wow, this is not really staged, because the slap looked like it wasn't really a slap. Like, if you look at it, it looked like he didn't really slap Chris, like he just like was a few inches away, but actually he did, excuse me, I'm a little hoarse, but it actually was a to me, Will Smith thought it was a joke, and then when he saw the look on Jada Pinkett's face where she took it as offensive, that's when Will Smith started taking it seriously. But then I seen a post from Will Smith, because I follow him on Instagram, and social media. I followed him where he did come out and publicly apologize and say that his actions was wrong. Now, in a way, I felt as if it was a good thing and a bad thing, because number one, you do know Chris Rock is a comedian, and as a comedian, they do come out and they joke on certain things, just like when you see a lot of these celebrities host the Grammys and the Oscars and the Tony Awards and these music awards and stuff, they do joke on celebrities, and they do joke, just like when you see like old tapes of Def Jam and these comedy shows, and when these comedians go on tour or whatever, they like to pick on audience members. So it's not like it was, it's the first time somebody's ever picked on somebody in the audience. It's not the first time, and then it's not the first time that a celebrity have hosted an award show and they've picked on a celebrity who's either in the audience or not in the audience. It's happened for years. It's just the fact that he was picking on Jada Pinkett Smith's haircut due to her medical condition, and she found that very offensive. Even though I don't think Chris Rock knew why she cut her hair off, because later on it started going out to her, because I didn't even know that Jada Pinkett had cut her hair off because of medical condition, and I didn't even know her hair was cut off, because I really don't follow Jada Pinkett like that, and when I follow Will Smith, I rarely see like Jada Pinkett. Because now Will Smith is more, you see him more with the kid Jabari Banks, I believe his last name is, from the new Bel Air series. Shout out to that, And what they said was, I was reading up on it, and it said that they asked Will Smith to leave, but he didn't. But later on in the show, he received this award, his Oscar for King Richard, which was a good thing. But I seen also a clip where during the commercial break they did hug and they did hug or whatever and stuff like that. But also I also what I'm saying, saw, like I said, the Will Smith post where he apologized about this, his actions was wrong and stuff like that or whatever. I mean, this is going to be going down in Oscar history, because now they're gonna know. Oh, you remember that time Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith, you know, because there are memorable moments, like the Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson moment, and you have all these other historical moments in history where a celebrity did something to another actor and in public or live television or stuff like that, and and stuff like that. But this is one of the, because you rarely see somebody come up and slap somebody in the face and on thing, and then you have what celebrities that have a special guest come, like at the Super Bowl when 50 Cent came out and he wasn't supposed to be performing. It was Mary J. Blige and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all of them, and then out of nowhere 50 Cent came out. So it's like a lot of these things you're not expecting, and they said there will be consequences made. Honestly, for me, I feel as if this is a comedian. Comedians are going to talk about people regardless, and you can't fault a comedian for picking on somebody, Now, my thing is, yeah, if you know about a person's medical condition and stuff like that, don't pick on them. That's just like picking on a child who has epilepsy, or a child who's in a wheelchair, or a child who has a medical condition, and I don't think that's right. But, it wasn't, to me, I felt like the joke wasn't as bad as they took it, or as Will Smith took it. It just, Jada Pinkett made it. It was this, to me, this was all Jada's fault, because I even see the cartoon part of the cartoon version of it, and the cartoon version was like, Will Smith was like, oh, that's so funny, but then he looked at Jada and her expression was like, and the way she said, like, get him. And then there was also a clip where afterwards, the slap, Jada Pinkett was laughing at Chris Rock and what he was saying and all of that. To me, it was like the situation escalated in the wrong way, because now it is a big issue and everybody's talking about it and everybody's doing all this extra stuff about it, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this, that, and this, that, and this, that. So now it comes down to it as if, what disciplinary action should be made. And to me, there is no disciplinary action that you should. All it is that, I mean, you're probably going to fine Will Smith for a couple of $1 million or so. Or you're probably going to say that, you're suspended from the Oscars. But the Oscars come on once a year. So how are you going to suspend somebody from the Oscars? Only thing is, you can probably say is keep them away from each other. Or, Will Smith and Chris Rock need to come on TV and publicly apologize to everybody. I know Will Smith went on his social medias and apologized, but to me, actually, there needs to be where Will Smith and Chris Rock be in the same room together and they publicly talk about it, and also Jada Pinkett, because she was the whole big issue of it that caused the situation. So I believe that they should come on publicly and do an apology. Chris Rock should say, okay, look, I'm a comedian. Comedians is going to come out and say things that may offend people. And I'm also going to, joke on celebrities. I'm not sorry for my actions on what I did because I'm a comedian. But I'm sorry for, being, I'm not sorry for my actions, but I'm sorry for my words. That's what I think should be, because your actions is you talk about people, all the time. Celebrities do that all the time. I mean, comedians do that all the time. Even celebrities who are not comedians, when they host the Oscars, they have a team of writers, and stuff. And I don't know if this joke was written in by a team of writers or that's was something Chris Rock said out of his mouth publicly. But if I believe it's a team of writers that did it, obviously, I believe that it should be the writer's fault for putting that joke in. But if it's a Chris Rock joke, honestly, I says okay. Because to me, I would have went to the writers and say, look, we don't need to be doing this stuff no more. Like, we need to choose our words kindly on who it's celebrity to pick on and stuff like that, because you have celebrities out there, especially celebrities that have diseases or they have medical conditions and stuff like that, and you're picking on these people for this reason. And I feel like, okay, this is not what we need to be doing. Like, we need to choose our words wisely, and and stuff like that. I mean, Chris Rock apparently didn't know about that, and apparently didn't think that it was going to escalate, because Will Smith thought it was actually funny, because G.I. Jane was a movie that a woman who had her hair cut off because she was in the forces, the armed forces or whatever. So it was like he was doing a joke, but it wasn't meant to put a joke as a medical condition, but she felt offensive about it, and that's what made Will Smith take action. So I want to know what y'all think about that. Do you think that Will Smith's actions was right? Do you think his actions was wrong? To me, I believe his actions was wrong. I believe he should have stepped to the side and said something about it, but not publicly, because like a lot of people are saying, that set us black people back, what I'm saying, years, hundreds and years, because you're a black person, slapping another black person on national TV. It makes us as African Americans look bad, because we can't control our actions when it comes to somebody joking about certain things. I've seen people that'll get upset because of the fact that they'll pick on their mama, regardless if their mamas are dead or alive. They'll pick on, oh, I seen your mama, she looks like she needs to be on a jelly bean roll or something like that, in general. And it comes to the point where they'll get offensive to the point that they'll want to slap them. I'll be like, you can't use physical force to get back at somebody who uses verbal abuse, because physical and verbal abuse is different. You're going to attack somebody physically because of what they said verbally, and that's why I believe that the attack was wrong. I believe Will Smith should put aside and say, hey, look, say, I found that Jada Pinkett found that very offensive. I would want you to apologize to Jada Pinkett or whatever, and stuff like that, because a lot of people would have just busted off as, oh, okay, he made a joke, ha ha ha. But then when Will Smith took action, it became a whole nother level, and now it comes to the fact that a lot of these people are going to think, oh wow, this man did this and this man did that. So now it's come down to it. Now it come down to a serious issue. The Oscars are getting involved, and then there was a post that's saying the Black Lives Matter is getting involved, and I've seen posts, and I agree with them. Like, what does the Black Lives Matter has to do with Will Smith and Chris Rock? This is not a white man hitting on a black man, or a black man hitting on a white man. This is because of what a white man said. This is a black man hitting on a black man because of what a black man said about his wife. So it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, and it has nothing to do with any type of movement. It's just that it was, as African Americans, we can't control our actions from what somebody verbally say. So then we have to resort into physical actions. Instead of using verbal actions, he used physical actions, and I feel that that's something that is really an issue with that. I want to know what y'all think about that. Comment on that. Email roundtable00@yahoo.com. Also comment at the bottom of this page. I will keep you on the update with this, because this is a serious issue with the Oscars, and this is not going to go away. This is going to be going on for years, for like another year or so. They're going to be talking about this until, and then the next Oscars, they're going to have the next person come up, and then they're going to be like, oh, I'm scared to say something about somebody because I don't want to get punched in the face like Chris Rock did last year. And there's going to be a whole lot of jokes, and there's already a whole lot of memes and jokes and all that around it. And then I seen one where they got a Street Fighter game. At the beginning of the Street Fighter, you see two people fighting on the street, and then one punches them in the face, and then then they goes up to the, like, on the side of the building. They goes up, and then they start with the Street Fighter. Then they call it the Oscar Fighter, because they have Will Smith punching out Chris Rock, and a lot of things. The next topic I want to talk about is a local thing. I know most of y'all have seen it. It involves a young boy that this happened in Orlando, Florida. If y'all haven't seen the recent news, and I saw the video, and I thought, actually, I kind of thought that it was at first. I thought, I was like, this can't be real. But then I started seeing posts, and I recently just saw, like, right before I did this show, I seen a video of um subscribe thing that I follow on YouTube, and they did a video of the of the same thing. And this is okay. Let me start all over. I'm talking about the drop ride that was newly built in Orlando. That the little boy, as the drop ride was coming down, he fell off the ride and fell to his death. Now, honestly, when I first saw it, I didn't want to believe that it happened, because I thought it was just like a little prodigy, or it could have been like a little fake person on it, like a little fake doll, or like a fake human being on it or something. And I saw that the person wasn't moving, so I said, "Oh my God! Like, I hope this person didn't die or whatever." And then I started seeing other posters and stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God, this really happened." And then I saw the video of it's a channel that I follow that goes to different roller coasters, because I'm a adventurous person. I like amusement parks and stuff like that. So, and I saw the post that they did a video of the drop in Orlando, and they did like two of them, because they did one video, but it was like they got on twice. And I seen a lot of the comments, and a lot of people was like, "Oh, after the boy died, after the boy dropped, this is scary and stuff." Now my thing is, do you think it's safe to go on any ride? Because I love to get on amusement rides. I love to get on rides. I love theme parks. As I told you in my previous show that I did when I went to Orlando, I visited Fun Spot, and then in 2021, and then in 2020 I went to Universal. I've been to Fun Spot. I've been to a lot of amusement parks and stuff. Do you think it's safe to get on rides? And then a friend of mine, we were supposed to be going to, which is now happening, the Dade County Youth Fair. And it was like, oh, after what happened with that boy in Orlando, and I'm skeptical about getting on, but I love to get on rides and stuff. My thing is, I've seen the comments where a lot of people say there wasn't no safety belts or seat belts on that ride. All you have mainly is a bar. When I visited Orlando, and I went to Fun Spot with a friend of mine, we was on this ride called Hot Seat. And with Hot Seat, it's like a restraining bar that comes down, but there's no seatbelts. My friend thought it was unsafe for the ride, because even though the Hot Seat ride is a swing ride, it's like it goes back and forth, but it's like the ride is tall and the little pole is long. So all you're doing is going back and forth, but the way it's like a swing. So it was like, oh, there's no safety, there's no seatbelt and stuff like that. And a lot of people were saying, why do they have a drop tower with no seatbelts? All you have is like the lap bar. And most roller coasters, and most of them, the only roller coaster that I saw that didn't really have a safety precaution is the Woody Woodpecker ride. Because the Woody Woodpecker ride at Universal Studios, it's mostly a lap bar. And the only reason why, because that's basically a kiddie roller coaster. I've rode it before, several times. When I went to Universal twice, when I went in 2018, and then when I went again in 2020, I rode the Woody Woodpecker ride, and it was like, it's a thrill ride for kids, but it's also something that adults get on, because with Woody Woodpecker, that's like their ride is like, the wait time is less than what you do at Rip Ride Rocket. But it's like, and then when I went and I did Fun Spot, when I did Mind Blower and White Lightning and all the other coasters, it's like, you wonder, like, and a lot of people's like, why don't they have like a lap bar, like the seat belt? Because you're supposed to have, especially with different rides. When I seen the video of the ride, they have it where they tilt you. You go to the top, and then you tilt to where you're looking at the ride. They have a similar ride at Busch Garden, where it tilts you all the way, and you're like facing down. So literally, I know with that ride, they have to have a lot of restraints to strap you with that ride. You just ain't got no lap bar, because if that lap bar come loose, you're actually facing the ground. And it's also the same thing with I rode it at SeaWorld Orlando. I forgot the name of it. It'll come to me. It was a ride where you're flying in the air, but you're flying like face down, and it's you gotta have a lot of restraints for that. And when the kid actually fell off the ride, I was like devastated. Like, this can't be real. This can't be real. Like, I hope this kid alright. And then I started hearing people that saying on social media and posts that he fell to his death and everything. And I say, yeah, this is real. Like, and a lot of people are now skeptical about getting on rides because of this. Now they're feeling that there should be more restraints to the ride. I don't know if the ride is now still operating. Now they're probably doing an investigation, because the family now is finna get paid. There's finna get paid, but there's no amount of money you can pay a family for their pain and suffering. They've lost a child, and you cannot pay them. You can pay them all the money you got in the world to feel the loss of their child, because that's just too much. So I want to know, how do y'all feel about that? Do you think that, yeah, every ride's supposed to get, I've seen it sometimes down here when they have these carnivals and fairs, and then these events down here where they have rides and stuff. I've seen where there's been accidents and stuff where people have either fell off a ride because of poor construction, or poor, where the ride wasn't set up correctly, or they don't have a lot of restraint structures where you have a belt, a lap bar, you have a lot of this stuff. So where people can easily get, I done been on rides where it felt like I'm about to jump off the ride, like the ride is gonna flip me off the ride, but it's in a adrenaline thrill to feel that way. And for him, that's why I've never been on a drop ride. And I've always said, I've had friends that say, oh, I'm going on the drop ride, and they've always tried. No, actually, I take that back. I've been on one drop ride, and it was at the Dade County Youth Fair a couple of years ago with a friend of mine. I literally, when I got off one of the other rides, it was like, are you all right? And I was like, I would never do it again, because my friend kept pressuring me to do it, and I actually did it. I told myself I would never do it again. And it was a thrill that it was not, because you're getting dropped, like you're falling off a roof or something. So I told myself I'd never do it again. And after seeing that ride, that incident with the little boy, I'm sorry. First of all, I should have said, I send my prayers out to his family and to everybody out there who, experienced that, who was there that night, and send my prayers out to the family. But I would never get on a ride like that. Never, because that right there shows you that, number one, it goes to poor structure. You have it where you don't have enough restraints to lock everybody in. Any ride that drops you fast should have a bar and some seat belts to restrain you. Because with roller coasters, I know some roller coasters only have like lap bars and only have like seat belts and stuff like that. They only have certain things because the ride is not as intense. Like there are like the top 5 of my roller coasters that I like. One of them is the Windstorm. I don't know if you ever heard of the Windstorm. That's one of my favorite roller coasters. If you ever been to Fun Spot, Mind Blower is up there with one of my favorite roller coasters, along with White Lightning. And Freedom Flyer is another roller coaster of mine. The White Lightning, the Mind Blower, and the Freedom Flyer is all at Fun Spot. The Mind Blower is at the Fun Spot Kissimmee location. White Lightning is at the Orlando location, and Freedom Flyer is at the Orlando location. Freedom Flyer is nothing but like a ride where you're flying in the air, basically. It's not like I drop you down real low and stuff like that. And the same thing, and Mind Blower is my favorite because it is one of the first wooden inversion coasters. It's a wooden coaster, and it's one of the very first inversion wooden roller coaster, meaning that it goes upside down. A lot of wooden A lot of wood roller coasters is not upside down, and this is one of the first wood and inversion coasters. So I want to know, how do I feel about this? I know that this was devastating for the people, for the family. I know this was devastating for a lot of people who experienced it that night and saw it. I can only imagine me being there and seeing that he dropped and blood just everywhere. His body probably ripped apart and you just saw blood everywhere. And for me, it traumatizes me to see a car getting hit in an accident on the street just by tapping another car. It just traumatizes me because you're there, you're seeing it. Imagine if I was there and I seen that. If you was there, let me know. Comment, at the bottom of this page. Let me know about this. But it gets to me that a lot of this stuff happens, and it's like these companies, they test these rides, but they don't test them out thoroughly to know that, okay, you have to test them like at least 10 times to know that, okay, let's put something on the ride to make sure that this ride is safe. Don't just test it one time and say, okay, the ride is safe. No, you have to test this ride several times. Now they're going to look into it and they're going to investigate, because now the federal government and all, everybody, the ride commissioners and all that, because they have a, they have they got a commission on like entertainment and rides, and whatever that is going to get involved, because now they're going to feel like, oh, now we have to get involved because this child shouldn't have fell to his death. And a lot of these, now we're going to realize that that seat alone is going to be vacant for a while, and then now they're going to have to close the ride for a while pending an investigation. So I want to know what y'all think about that. Comment at the bottom of this page. Email me rontable00@yahoo.com. I want to know, do you think it's safe? Do you think it's okay to get on rides, even though most rides do not have less restraints than other rides? Do you think it's safe to get on any ride, period? Do you think that, a lot of these rides should change their structure of their rides, add more restraints, add less restraints, because most of these rides are like, the less restraints you have, the more intense the ride is. If you just have a lap bar coming down and they're dropping you down, you're going to be more intense. I've been on rides where it doesn't have a lot of restraints for you, and it makes the ride more intense. Like I told you, my friend went on this ride called Hot Seat at Fun Spot, and it was like, there's only a lap bar, so it's like not as safe as you would if you had seatbelts and all that, but it makes the ride more intense. So there has been accidents on rides for years. There's been accidents on rides since the 1800s and early 1900s, because I've seen videos where they've had like accidents at rides at several different parks, and they had to close the rides down and stuff like that, whatever. But it's just the fact that now it's come to the point where this is a new ride. This is not a ride that's been operating for years, and then now a person got injured because of the ride's poor structure and stuff like that. This is a ride that just recently opened up, and then out of opening up, and I know there's been rides like that opened up like a day or two, and after a day or two, they got an accident on the ride because of the poor structure of the ride, or somebody, the restraint wasn't in properly and stuff like that. So I know it's stuff like that. I want to know how you feel about this. I want to know how you feel about the Chris Rock and Will Smith incident. You can comment at the bottom of this page. Also email me rontable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to click and subscribe to our channel and check out our previous episodes and videos. This is the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. Stay blessed, stay safe, and have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next episode.